They're behind the scenes on the 6 Feet Apart music video.
Hi! Something that I wanted to clarify right off the bat with this video was the timeline, in that we filmed 6 Feet towards the end of September, but then the commentary that you'll see for the first half of this video was filmed in around October, and then this is now in December because school got in the way and I didn't get to film the rest of the commentary, so occasionally I might pop in to fill in some blanks or stuff I forgot to mention in the first part of the video. This is my 4th time trying to film this. I can do this. No interruptions. I got this. Welcome to a behind-the-scenes look/mini documentary as to how we created the music video from start to finish, 6 Feet Apart by Ella Beyer. First of all, if you hear me call the song 6 Feet Apart in this video, the song is called 6 Feet, but at the time that I was filming the first half and that a lot of stuff was being filmed, the song was called 6 Feet Apart, which is why I was calling it that. I should also probably note that that commentary that you're watching of me in front of the window was filmed at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning so that I could film somewhere quietly, but that was way too early and my brain and my voice were not awake yet, which is why I sound kind of dead inside. Very early in the morning. For some background, I've known Ella for quite a bit of time. I've known her throughout high school and sometimes before that, and I really love her music. I've gone to a couple of her gigs and I love her songs. She's just such a genuine writer and just a really sweet person to be around, so I love her music. And yes, I will gush a lot about Ella and everybody in this video. And in March, she had written a song called 6 Feet Apart. You know, I really loved it, and so did the internet because it got a lot of views on her YouTube channel. She got to do a lot of live streams because of it, and she even got featured on our local TV channel, and that was really cool. The fact that her song had gained this much traction because it was really relevant to the time and still is relevant now. We're still in, it's been 7 months and we're still inside. 9.5 months now, actually, with no end in sight, but yep. And she asked me if I would be interested in making a video for 6 Feet Apart, since that was the first song that they were planning on releasing. And that was an enthusiastic yes for me because I love the song, I love Ella, I love making videos, and we got right on that. I generally work in post-production and editing, which usually means that everybody else kind of does the stuff and does the filming and all that, and then they just give me all the footage and I put it together and there's the final product. So for me to be there from the very beginning of the process and actually, you know, come up with ideas and write stuff and plan things and film things was not the side of the production process that I was usually on. So this was very exciting because I got to be there from day one to day, whatever day it is today. I found out that I was going to be doing this. I listened to the video of 6 Feet Apart on her YouTube channel probably 300 or 400 times and tried to get some ideas through that. What was really funny was that apparently there was a demo recorded of it on SoundCloud, which I had no idea existed, but when I found out that it existed, I was very happy because it was even more polished than the first version. I was like, oh my god, this is a real song and it's getting re-recorded and these things are getting added in, and I just got so excited when I heard that version for the first time. I tend to daydream a lot to songs, where I'll listen to a song and kind of imagine a certain scene or some sort of story that would play out, or just a certain aesthetic or vibe. And with this song, one of the ones that I got right away was just like slow motion walking around during the golden hour, being outside, and that's how I got very early on the sunset idea for this, and very similarly the idea for the night shots. I just felt like that would be a really pretty, dreamy vibe. So the way I got the paper city idea for this, we all kind of have our own lives. I mean, we still do have our own lives. So the idea was that we all have these paper cities that are our hopes or dreams or things we care about or people we care about, and the pandemic kind of just destroyed that. And so my first idea was to build a paper city representing Ella's mind and then burn it. But then I decided not to do that for 2 different reasons. One, the quarantine didn't really feel like a sudden destruction to everything. It was very gradual. It was that we would be inside for 2 weeks. Remember that? Being inside for 2 weeks? So it was such a gradual thing. It was more like the city was being melted or flooded and things were kind of just slipping away. And the second reason why I didn't want to use fire is because I actually don't like fire or burning things very much, and I just didn't want to. Nope. So those were the 3 concepts, and I had to present them to Ella in a very incoherent way because I still had no idea where I was going. It kind of looked like that meme of the guy who's standing next to the bulletin board who's like in a very crazed way trying to explain something. That's how I sounded. But it worked because she liked it. So once we got the ideas through, I put together an outline, had every line of the song, and then what shot would have worked well with that line. I also drew up a couple of concept drawings of what some of the shots could look like, for example, just to get a better visualization. I actually didn't do a storyboard for this project because a lot of our shots were going to be repeated. Even now, after having all the footage, I feel like I could scramble a lot of the videos up and retell the same or a different story with the same videos, whereas with the dialogue, you can't scramble up the order of things and still tell a clear story. So I didn't make a storyboard, but rather a Pinterest board. I actually have an entire Pinterest board where I just searched up different terms and aesthetics that reminded me of the song. So I searched up things like golden hour photography or twinkly lights or paper statues. I had a whole Pinterest board of this is kind of what I'm going for, except we have to make that. Throughout all of these processes, except I think ironically the Pinterest board, I'd run these by Ella and she always ended up really loving them. She was super supportive. It was really exciting. We had a bunch of FaceTime calls. And that is when it was time for production. For production, there was a really big gap between starting to plan the video and then actually filming it. A lot of things are filmed over a very long time, but we decided to just pick 3 consecutive days and film on those. One thing I for some reason forgot to mention in the first commentary was that we filmed a bunch of little behind the scenes on set vlog style videos where Ella talked to the camera. I don't know why I forgot to mention them the first time, but they were quite funny. So our first night of filming was for the night Christmas light shots, which was very fun. We filmed at a park and it was a very unique way to film. It was me, Ella, and our parents, and that was cool. But it was also sometimes kind of difficult because you don't just have like a big set of people. But it was also really nice because I think it was a much more laid back setting. It wasn't so much like there are 50 people here and all eyes are on you, Ella, so don't mess this up.
Like being the center of everything.
Oh no, get used to it.
I think one of the challenges that we came across was lighting. It was very dark and we couldn't bring big studio lights because we were in a park and there was nowhere to plug them in. So I brought a battery-powered camping light, which is about this big, and sometimes covered it with tissue paper so that it wouldn't be so bright because it was very bright.
This is our light.
And it really did the trick. I think it really helped and it turned out really pretty in the end. It was not ideal, but it worked very well.
Look at this light. Look at our very high budget advanced lighting rig.
Yeah, we're paying millions for this. But all the doors are closed. Can you feel my heart?
And that was our first night of filming. It was a lot of fun. It was when I got to hear an even further along demo of the song. It was just really amazing to watch this become real. So the second day of filming is when we filmed these golden hour sunset shots. I feel like I didn't have to use very much equipment. A lot of the stuff we just filmed with the camera by itself, and the lighting was just so beautiful and Ella looked amazing. I did not need to tell Ella anything about what to do on camera. She's so natural on camera, it was amazing. I am not natural on camera at all. With Ella, I was kind of just like, okay, this is how much the shot is and this is what we're lip syncing to. And she just did it and she was very natural and it looked amazing. And so I loved getting to work with her because I think she just really has a knack for this stuff. It was really nice filming outdoors in this setting, and a lot of times we would just walk around and look for different locations and say, oh, this place looks really pretty. How about we just try you walking around here? Or how about you just walk across this bridge and then let's just do this. We also had our dear friend Julian there, so he helped us with a lot of our earlier shots and getting a third set of eyes as to how things could look and help us carry equipment around and stuff, so it was very greatly appreciated.
Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, wait. Cool, this works.
And then filming that final silhouette shot with Ella and Julian made me so insanely happy because it's the last shot in the video. That was something that we had set from the beginning, and to see the lighting be so perfect and all the cars driving around behind them was like, oh my god, this is happening. I was just ecstatic getting to film that.
Woo!
Hi, we are behind the scenes of the 6 Feet Apart music video. Really exciting stuff. So stay tuned for more.
It was earlier in that day where I was actually building the paper city. That was quite a process. It took just about as long as I expected it to take, in that I knew that folding houses would not be that difficult, but I'm also very bad with paper and just geometric shapes in general. I also spent a lot of time testing out the dissolvable paper because I used special paper for the photos so that it would get destroyed in a very specific way. So once I figured out what I wanted to use, I drew those photos and I set up the paper city. It was kind of therapeutic to build it and then immediately destroy it. So that's how we finished production in a whole weekend. We had 3 settings and we just did one each day. Hello, it is Editing Sophie once again, and the rest of this video is brought to you by me. So after we finished filming in late September, it was time to get into editing the video, which for me was very enjoyable. One of the reasons I liked editing this video so much is because, as I've mentioned before in this video, it was a moment where I could look at it and go, oh my god, this is real, this is coming to fruition. It especially paid off because we did a lot of experiments on set with the way we filmed things that we honestly weren't quite sure how they were going to turn out. I think one of the little experiments that paid off the most was this little dreamlike effect that we were going for, where everything we filmed on day 2, the sunset day of filming, was filmed at a higher frame rate, and then when you slow it down in editing, everything moves in a slightly more fluid and dreamlike way. And I had never really tried that before. And it also meant that we had to use a slightly faster version of 6 Feet for Ella to lip sync to, but it worked out really great. I think she did a wonderful job with handling the slightly faster version of the song, and I think just her on-camera movement worked great with this effect, and it turned out amazing, so I'm really proud of how that worked out.
I wish I was under the stars.
Another interesting part about editing this video was that generally when I've edited projects in the past, I kind of just edit it and then maybe have one other person look it over and then I export it and then it's done. But with this, there was a lot of back and forth because I think there were about 4 or 5 drafts total, in which I would export it and then send it to Ella, and then we would talk about it and, review some notes, and then I would go back and edit it again. And I really enjoyed the process of editing something and then getting it back and changing a couple things, because I think when you're editing a project, you kind of become accustomed to how your footage looks, to the point where sometimes you might overlook really minor things. So to have Ella kind of as a second pair of eyes and point out things that I hadn't previously noticed was really insightful and really interesting. And editing it was really fun because I just got to, mess around with all this footage all day from this fun weekend that we had filming. The animation was also really fun because I got to mess around with which video I wanted to base it on and how the video would transition to animation and back to video. I got to experiment with colors, and what was fun about that as well is that one of the first things I had worked on with Ella a couple years ago was a song that she wrote at the time called Sugar Makes Me Sad, and I did a very brief animation series of drawings for that, and so this felt like a fun little callback to that first project. Not to mention, I also ran into a bunch of tech issues with my laptop that were just out of my control when it came to exporting the video. There was nothing more agonizing than watching the video take so much time to export, only for me to play it back and for something weird to have gone wrong, especially late at night. That was just the most annoying thing ever, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was very gratifying and very fun to work on this project and to ultimately get to see it put on YouTube in the end, as this was Ella's first single and my first music video, so that was very fun and exciting for both of us. Honestly, filming this video has been the highlight of my 2020, and yes, 2020 has kind of set a low bar for good things happening, but I think that even if this had been a good year, this experience is just unforgettable nonetheless. That being said, please stream 6 Feet. It is a wonderful, beautiful song. Ella is an insanely talented writer and singer. So you can find 6 Feet on any place where you find your music, so Spotify or Apple Music or
whatever the other ones are. And you can watch the YouTube video made by us on her YouTube channel, and I will include the places where you can support Ella and her Instagram and YouTube in the description. And wow, I sound like a YouTuber now. But seriously, go check out her music because good things are coming. She is so incredible. So Ella, if you're watching this, thank you for letting me work on this project with you. I hope everybody who watches this listens to your music because you're great. I hope that whoever is watching this video found some sort of entertainment or insight or enjoyment from it. I know I certainly did because I got to revisit all of these fun memories from filming and editing the video months ago. And with that being said, have a wonderful new year, wear a damn mask, and take care of yourself. Peace out. Oh wait, hold on. Look, I didn't plug it in anywhere, so it doesn't light up, but normally it does light up when you do this, and this is so cool, so thank you, Ella. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, just go stream Ella's music.